The Arnold Strongman Classic, the holy grail of strongman competition. Athletes must will themselves past their competitors and the implements. 10 men, 5 grueling challenges. Spirits will break, records will fall, all to find the strongest man on earth. The 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic, next. The Arnold Sports Festival. For the next 2 days, it will be the focus of the fitness world as fans from around the globe have descended on Columbus, Ohio to watch the best in weightlifting, bodybuilding, arm wrestling, and even fencing. But we are here to answer one big question, and that is, who is the strongest man on earth? Welcome inside the Greater Columbus Convention Center, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Dr. Bill Crawford. And Bill, we have the most powerful men in the world here to compete in 5 unique events, all for the right to be called the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic champion.
Yes, this is the most prestigious competition of the year for strongman. The Arnold Strongman Classic is also the heaviest competition and is the defining competition in strongman.
There are 10 men from 8 different countries here to compete. Brian Shaw is a crowd favorite and 3-time Arnold Strongman Classic champion. 2 youngsters to keep an eye on, Martins Licis and Mateusz Kaliszkowski, and all of them are chasing the man they call the mountain. Hafthor Bjornsson from Iceland won this competition last year, and he is the favorite to do it again in 2019.
He also holds the elephant bar deadlift record at 1,041 pounds. He is here to defend his title.
His main challenge may come from a man who finished second to Bjornsson last year. That's Brian Shaw. He has been first or second in this event 7 of the last 8 years.
Also, 4-time TWI World's Strongest Man winner, and he's back to get his title.
There are 5 events. The competitors will get points based on how well they do in each event. You win an event, you get 10 points. You finish last, you get 1. Event number 1 is the elephant bar deadlift. Each man gets a chance to lift, and the man with the heaviest single lift will win the event. And to make things even more interesting for the fans and athletes here, if someone breaks the world deadlift record, he wins $50,000.
They made an interesting twist on the deadlift this year.
When we all got the news that Rogue was going to throw out $50,000 to anybody that could pull more than 500 kilos on the elephant bar, for me, I was excited.
Let's go!
It's great to challenge those guys, you know, and it pushes us to go even further than what we think we can.
Is anybody gonna do it? That's the big question. We'll find out.
Here's Martins Licis, his second appearance at the Arnold Strongman Classic, 970 pounds on the bar.
Martins is someone that many people feel is the future of strongman. He always comes prepared. I personally feel that his greatest attribute is his mental toughness. He's been coming on strong the last few years and won the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic in Santa Monica.
And 970 is good for the Dragon.
That is a personal best for him. Notice a more narrow foot stance, a lot of lower back. I'd like to see his feet out a little more and use his hips more from the bottom. I think that's where he'll need to go to have bigger lifts in the future.
Martins Licis, one of the more emotional men in the field, and he does not hold back after that lift. Up next, Mikhail Shivlikov at 974. And Shivlikov, with the blood running from his nose, that is common for him. He has that problem a lot. He is okay, but that lift will count. 974 pounds.
Solid off the bottom, gets it to his knees and has to shake it a little bit to get it back. And then And the blood coming out of his nose. He did that last year. Like I said, he really commits. That doesn't bother him.
That is Jean-Francois Caron out of Canada, and he is stepping up to 904 pounds. Oh, and Caron dropping the bar, and he's grabbing at that right hamstring. And remember, he's been having a problem with that hamstring since the qualifying event in Santa Monica back in January.
Drops his hip, starts to pull, and immediately stop as soon as the weight cleared the floor.
Things getting serious as Brian Shaw with 1,021 pounds on the bar.
He's going to really want to get his levers working here, get his hips down, and push as hard as possible with his feet down.
And Brian Shaw stands up 1,021 pounds, and that is a personal best for him on the elephant bar. And here we go, Bill.
Pushes off the floor, gets it to his knees efficiently, pulls back, no wasted movement.
Brian Shaw, your new leader at 1,021 pounds. Hafthor Bjornsson is up next, the defending Arnold Strongman Classic champion. And he is starting to establish himself as a dominant force in the sport.
So in 2018, I won Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio, Europe's Strongest Man, Iceland's Strongest Man, the World's Strongest Man, and the World's Ultimate Strongman. Last year was good, yeah, for sure.
Because Hafthor win all competition last year, all the best competition. He's super ready, he's super strong.
It looks like he's had a good training camp leading up to the Arnold, but I would expect that from him.
That's what I like. I like to train that way that I just believe I'm a superhuman, you know? I'm here ready, and I'm gonna do my best. If anyone beats me, then it's just like, congratulations to him, he's better than I am.
Bjornsson looking to break the record he set last year when he hit 1,041 pounds. This lift, 1,045 pounds.
This is only his second attempt. This shows he has his sights set on taking a crack at the ultimate prize.
Here we go. Wow. Give me a break. How easy is that? And a new world record, 1,045 pounds for the mountain.
That looked easier than last year's 1041. He has the gas for the all-time record in him.
Brian Shaw up next, looking to beat Hafthor Bjornsson and set a new record, 1,049 pounds on the barbell. And Shaw falling forward over the bar on that attempt. It will not go for him, and that means that Hafthor Bjornsson is the winner of this event with one lift remaining. One more look at what would have been a new world record on the elephant bar.
Brian can go home understanding that he gave everything he had on the lifting platform on this deadlift.
Bjornsson with 1,105 pounds on the barbell. He has already set the elephant bar world record. He did that on his second lift when he made 1,045 pounds. If he makes this next lift, he earns $50,000.
For all the marbles, here it is.
At the knees, and Bjornsson cannot get it. Blood coming from his forehead. That's how intense that effort was. He sets the elephant bar record, wins the event, and the deadlift world record, I guarantee you, that is well within his reach.
His hips come up just a little bit sooner than on his previous lift. He gets it to his knees, but the bar is still forward, and he just can't overcome the weight past his knees to complete the lift.
What a way to kick off the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic with that 1,045-pound lift. Hathor Bjornsson sets the elephant bar deadlift world record and locks up 10 points in the standings. Brian Shaw takes second, but it comes at a price as he injures his left hamstring, and he's with Mark Henry backstage.
I know you're in pain, and I see you laboring. Tell us about the injury.
Yeah, just the last deadlift there, that 1051. You know, I just locked in on it and felt a pop in the hamstring. So that's why I went forward, because it was a pretty big pop. It's just part of the game, unfortunately. You get banged up and you just got to deal with it.
Up next, one of the most famous challenges in all of strongman. It's the Husafeld Stone Carry.
The 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic on CBS Sports is sponsored by Rogue, strength and conditioning equipment that's built to last.
Husafeld Stone is a new event at the Arnold.
And what Rogue is doing, making a replica of the stone, is amazing.
The question is, how far can you walk?
It's a great stone. It has a great history. I'm super pumped. I'm excited about that event.
So I'm really excited to see it, really excited to, kind of get my hands on it and touch it and figure out the best way to carry that.
Welcome back to the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic. Event 2 is pretty simple. The athletes have to pick up that 409-pound Husafeld stone replica and carry it as far as they can in 2 minutes without dropping it.
This is one of my favorite events. In the heart of Iceland lies the Husafeld stone. This event is hardwired in strongman history. 200 years ago, a farmer named Snorri Snorrason used this stone to cover the gate of his sheep pen. He was able to carry the stone around the pen, so full styrkur was born. This is also known as full strength. The two keys to success on this event, number one is an efficient lift of the stone. You can't waste time trying to get the stone up to your lap and standing with the stone. The second key to success is taking deep breaths, methodically breathing so that you can continue to get oxygen to the body to carry the stone as far as possible.
We do not have a sheep pen, but we do have a stage, and the course around those 4 boulders is approximately the same length as the real one in Iceland, and it will be Alexei Novikov out of Ukraine going first. Novikov has that stone up, and now his attempt will begin.
You want to keep moving your feet. As you move your feet, that's distance, and you only have so much time to carry the stone. It looks like he's rhythmically breathing. You can see in and out, in and out. He's digging his fingers into the stone. He's slowing down just a little bit.
Impressive so far from the youngster. His attempt ends once he drops it.
We got 2 complete laps. The stone goes down, though. Mark that.
That is going to be tough to beat. 211 feet, 6 inches for Novikov.
He's digging his fingertips into the stone. He's taking deep breaths. He's trying to keep this stone on his chest as long as possible, getting every foot. Great effort, terrific carry.
Brian Shaw up next, and he is not 100% right now. He's nursing that hamstring injury that he suffered during the first event, the deadlift.
A hamstring injury can affect your ability to lift the stone off the floor and also to support your weight and the weight of the stone. A quick, efficient lift is vital to him having a good carry here.
Brian Shaw, the key for him is not necessarily beating Novikov, it's beating the man who's going to come up next, and that's Hathor Bjornsson.
Very nice pick, and he's actually tall enough to lock his fingers. We'll see if that strategy works. Now, if his fingers come apart, he still has his hands on the stone. He's moving his feet. He's breathing. Look, he's got good breathing pattern, rhythmically breathing in and out, in and out. He's done a lot of carrying events.
Shaw looking like he's starting to slip a little bit. He'll get through 1 lap and then drop that 400-plus pound stone. And it's clear that Shaw is disappointed in that result.
He's able to lock his fingers on the stone. He's moving his legs fairly well with that injury. But towards the end of the carry, after one lap, that hamstring injury is impeding him from continuing on with that carry.
Only one man has yet to carry the stone, and that's Iceland's Hafthor Bjornsson. He's your overall leader after winning event one in record-breaking fashion, and he's now trying to beat the rookie Alexei Novikov's mark of 211 feet, 6 inches. Bjornsson mauling that stone to his chest, and he is off on his first lap.
Very quick foot movement. Getting some rhythmic breathing going. Coming to the first, very long strides.
One lap down for Bjornsson, and looking like he's going to stay in the overall lead with 3 events remaining. Now can he track down the rookie Alexei Novikov?
Yes, he's vying for that first place finish. He's making a statement. Here he comes all the way around.
This one's going to be close as the stone is down for Hafthor Bjornsson, and one thing is for sure though, he will be your overall leader after 2 events.
Hafthor lifting the stone very efficiently, actually tossing the stone up into his arms, starting with long strides, very deliberate foot movement, taking good breaths, fighting it out to the very last to get those precious few feet for the lead.
Terrific effort. After 2 events, Hafthor Bjornsson has 2 wins and is looking unstoppable. He beats Alexei Novikov by 7 feet, so the rookie takes 2nd place. And Mark Henry is with the mountain after his 2nd straight event win.
I'm here to win. I'm in good shape, best shape of my life. And again, guys, thank you so much for the support.
Coming up, it's a brand new challenge for the strongest men on earth. Event 3, the Wheel of Pain. Want your sports news without the yelling and fake debates? Stream CBS Sports HQ, the free 24/7 network for non-stop highlights and news. Download the CBS Sports app today. Back at the Columbus Convention Center in Columbus, Ohio, as fans have been enjoying all the Arnold Sports Festival has to offer. The Arnold is in its 30th year, and the roughly 200,000 people attending make it the largest festival of its kind in the world. 22,000 athletes from 80 countries competing in 80 different sports, and there is one big main attraction here, the Wheel of Pain. At 40 feet in diameter and 21 feet tall, it has 8,000 pounds of steel and 7,000 pounds of oak. It is hard to miss, and it is a brand new challenge for the men vying for the title of the Arnold Strongman Classic champion.
The Wheel of Pain event is very raw. No one really knows what to expect.
It's amazing how much work Rogue put in just in one event.
Just the structure of it's ridiculous.
And on a pushing event like this, after 30, maybe 40s again, you're total burnout. But you must continue and continue. I think the best fighter must win this event.
It is standing room only here at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. The doors opened up early this morning and people rushed to get a good view of this formidable implement. Matjaž Belšak will be the first man up, his 2nd appearance at the Arnold Strongman Classic. He finished 6th as a rookie in 2018. 60 seconds to push the Wheel of Pain as far as he can. With those arms extended, he has that thing moving pretty well.
Looks like his belt has come off from around his waist.
He's already gone 29 feet.
Notice his hips are very low, and he's pushing up. Now he's got his shoulder against it. His shoulder girdle started to get weakened, so now he's got his shoulder against it. You have to be a little creative with this event. You're just matching the event, matching this implement, doing everything you can to make movement forward, forward, forward.
Inside 20 seconds to go for Matjaž Belšak, who has kept this thing moving at a pretty consistent pace, but now starting to slow. Final seconds for Belšak. he is still giving this thing all he is worth, and that will do it. They will mark the distance and reset that, but a great effort for the man from Slovenia, Matej Belšak. Alexei Novikov, the rookie out of Ukraine, is up next. He's coming off a second place finish in the last event. That was the Husafell stone carry, but this may be a challenge for him. He is one of the lighter athletes in the field at 302 pounds. And now Novikov is going with a new technique that we have yet to see here. We saw Mikhail Shivlikov do the same thing on Thursday night, and it seems to be working pretty well for Novikov.
Now this is an approach that I don't think we've discussed. Shoulders on it, but with his head under the implement. I hope the other guys are watching.
And Novikov is threatening to demolish Matej Belšak's top distance. His pace has slowed, but he has about 20 seconds to go. He is very close to Belšak's top mark.
This is when you tell yourself that you're a supreme being and you will overcome. Every step is points.
5 seconds for Novikov, and he is your new leader. Alexei Novikov once again with an impressive performance, and now has the top mark in the Wheel of Pain. Once again, Alexei Novikov sets the top mark, and once again, a couple of former champions will try to chase him down. The conclusion of Event 3, the Wheel of Pain, when we return. Back at the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic, where rookie Alexei Novikov has the top distance in Event 3, the Wheel of Pain, but two athletes remain, including defending champion Hafthor Bjornsson. While we were away, Russia's Mikhail Shivlikov failed to get that far on his attempt. He finishes at 103 feet. That's about 10 feet shy of Alexei Novikov's top distance. Mateusz Kielczewski was hoping for a strong finish in this event, but he only pushes the Wheel of Pain 101 feet 6 inches. Brian Shaw, meanwhile, continues to struggle thanks to that hamstring injury he suffered in the elephant bar deadlift. Shaw only goes 95 feet. He came into the event in second place overall, and this effort will definitely drop him down the overall leaderboard. Martins Lisis is up next. He is tied for second overall. Lisis with 2 top 5 finishes so far. He is ready to go, and he will try to chase down Alexei Novikov's top mark of 113 feet.
Got a good start. Hips are low, very good leverages. He's pushing up on this implement.
Lisis with a good pace.
Yes, he does. And as you saw yesterday with the Husafell stone, he's got that good rhythmic breathing, forcing air in, pulling air, forcing air into his lungs and pushing air out of his lungs.
30 seconds.
This is where it comes down to will. What does he want to do with this implement is up to him at this point.
He's now past Brian Shaw. Shaw's mark of 95 feet. And he's creeping up on Alexei Novikov. And Martins Lisis looks like he will be your new leader. And he is done, but Martins Lisis overtakes Alexei Novikov. With just one man remaining, he has the top mark.
What's extraordinary about this push is that he's very comfortable with his shoulders locked in. He's got his hips down, creating tons of leverage, pushing, relentlessly. The dragon continues to slay the Wheel of Pain.
Hafthor Bjornsson has won both events so far, going for his 3rd win. No one has ever won all 5 events at this competition. Bjornsson certainly capable of becoming the first, but he'll have to chase down Martin Lisis' top score of 119 feet, 9 inches.
Hafthor has his arms extended with great leverage. His sheer size creates a tremendous amount of force to move this implement forward.
Bjornsson moving extremely well here. As long as he doesn't finish towards the bottom, he will remain your overall leader. And now he's starting to get to the tail end of things as he's chasing down Brian Shaw and now going to that style that we saw Alexei Novikov employ. Inside 30 seconds.
20 seconds.
This one will be close.
Yes, every name that he passes is points. But he's keeping it going. He's got his shoulders against it. He's keeping his hips low even for a tall man.
That's where Lisi's nameplate is, and Bjornsson is quickly approaching that final seconds. And Hafthor Bjornsson may not have gotten there, but he was close. He might have been a few inches short, and he collapses as something finally brings down the mountain. And it looks like Martins Lisi's just edging out Hafthor Bjornsson. And Martins Lisi's is climbing now the wheel of pain after conquering this implement. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women. Martins Lisi's earns his first career event victory in the Wheel of Pain, but he only gains 1 point on Hafthor Bjornsson, who ends up finishing second. Mark Henry talked with the Dragon after the event.
Give me an idea of the feel for this and what it took to get into it.
I felt like I was a barbarian savage that was taken from his homeland as a child, and it felt like I was there for about 2 decades pushing it. Didn't feel lovely. But there's a threshold. If you get enough speed, there actually is momentum on the thing, but you gotta keep it moving fast. Otherwise, it does push back on you.
Coming up next, from a brand new test to a very familiar one. Event 4, another classic test of strength as the strongest men on earth face the Austrian Oak. Welcome back to Columbus, Ohio in the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic. The athletes getting ready for Event 4, the Austrian Oak. Let's take a look at where we stand right now after the Wheel of Pain. Martins Lisi's pushing back on Hafthor Bjornsson and gains sole possession of second place. Alexei Novikov moves up to third as he gets another top 3 finish. Brian Shaw drops down the standings again. He sits in 7th with 2 events left. Event 4 is one that these men have faced in the past. The athletes will have 90 seconds to lift the Austrian Oak as many times as they can, and that implement weighs 430 pounds. Poland's Mateusz Kielarski is ready for his turn on the Austrian Oak. Right now he's in 8th place overall, but looking to make a move in this event. This is the first attempt for Kielarski. He has 90 seconds to get as many as he can. And 1 rep.
Excellent.
For Mateusz Kielarski.
This event and the next event will find him higher on the leaderboard because they highlight his raw strength and his tremendous athletic ability.
Here's attempt number 2 now. Mateusz Kielarski out of Poland.
His upper body legendary. He's really muscling it up.
Elbows are forward, up and back.
And that'll be 2.
With this awkward and massive implement, he has to dig deep to get additional reps. As you get deeper into the reps, unfortunately, your abdominal muscles start to weaken and the log wants to fall forward after you stand up with it. This is when the strongman has to completely commit.
3rd attempt for Kielarski. And the crowd was trying to will that thing over his head, but Kielarski will exit with 2 good reps, and he is the early leader. Russia's Mikhail Shivlikov up next. And Shivlikov needs to come up with a strong performance on the Austrian Oak if he wants to work his way back up the standings, as Mateusz Kielarski still has the top score of 2 reps.
He needs this efficient lift to the chest and then push back and up. to complete the lift with the log.
And the press is good as Magnus Magnuson gives him the signal. One down from Kyle Shivlikov, now the third man to be able to lift that over his head.
He had an explosive lift to his chest. He drives the weight up and back over his head.
Second attempt now for Mikhail Shivlikov. If he gets this, he would tie for the event lead. Lift number 2 is good, so Mikhail Shivlikov is going to call it quits, and he will tie Mateusz Kieliszkowski for the lead. 2 good reps for the Siberian force. Up next, Martins Licis. This is his second career appearance at the Arnold Strongman Classic, and he is really an up-and-coming star in this sport. And Licis' career started when he was just a young boy in Latvia.
When I was just a kid, I would go to my grandparents' farm in Latvia. My grandfather was a stonemason and lifted all these giant rocks. So I would help him move them to help him build sculptures out of them. I was essentially doing strongman on a farm already as a kid growing up. So I got most of my training back then.
Pushing relentlessly, the dragon continues to slay the wheel of pain.
Licis is set to take on the Austrian Oak right now, 6 points back of Hafthor Bjornsson for the overall lead. So Licis needs to find a way to win this event if he wants to gain ground on the mountain. And he will lock it out. And now sits in the tie for second place with Brian Shaw in this event. Right to work on attempt number 2. And Licis will hit that one and is now tied for the lead with Mateusz Kieliszkowski and Mikhail Shivlikov with 2 successful reps, and he still has plenty of time.
He wants to dig down and get this third rep. This would definitely separate him from the competition.
Looking to keep the pressure on Hafthor Bjornsson. Martins Licis just 6 points back of Bjornsson in the overall standings coming into this event. 1 event remains after this. Third attempt for the Dragon.
Quickly up to the chest.
And Licis out of gas, but does tie for the best mark so far with 2 successful reps. Hafthor Bjornsson is the final man up. He has won 2 of the 3 events so far, and he was 6 inches shy of beating Martins Licis in the prior event. He took second in the Wheel of Pain. And that is easy for Hafthor Bjornsson. 1 successful rep is in. Hafthor, one of the few athletes in the field who actually weighs more than the log.
But his height makes it a little more difficult to press something overhead as it has to travel a greater distance.
Just needs 1 more to tie himself with the 3 other athletes who have completed 2 repetitions.
Clearing his head a little bit there.
The Mountain asks for some help from the crowd, and they will gladly give it to him on attempt number 2.
Help the Mountain out here, folks.
Bjornsson locks that out, and he has tied for the lead. And he has more time left on the clock if he wants to make another attempt.
He needs this attempt, and he'll basically lock down the competition overall.
He wants it. 20 seconds. Give it to him. 20 seconds. He can seal the deal.
Third attempt for the Mountain.
Plenty of time.
No problem to the chest. No, Bjornsson just cannot get under it. Final results for event 4, the Austrian Oak, and it's a 4-way tie for first place between Hafthor Bjornsson, Martins Licis, Mikhail Shivlikov, and Mateusz Kieliszkowski. Brian Shaw gets 1 rep, he'll take 5th. Belshock and Heinle, they get 2 reps on the lighter log, with Jerry Pritchett getting just 1. With 1 event to go, Hafthor Bjornsson has a 6-point lead over Martins Licis, as Licis is really the only man who can keep the mountain from repeating as champion. Kailesh Koski moves up the standings 3 spots, and he now sits in 5th place. And Kailesh Koski holds the world record in the next event. Coming up, the finale, the stone to shoulder decides who will be crowned the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic champion.
The 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic on CBS Sports is sponsored by Rowe, strength and conditioning equipment that's built to last.
1 event remains at the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic. Martins Licis, the Dragon, will try to keep the man known as the Mountain from repeating as champion. Event 5 is the stone shoulder. The athletes have 2.5 minutes to bring that 410-pound stone up to their shoulders as many times as they can. This is a repeat event from last year. Mateusz Kailesh Koski set the world record in this event in 2018 with 4 repetitions. And the man who trains in a small gym in Poland looking to make a big splash in this final event.
Ta siłownia należy do mnie, jest bardzo mała. Zapraszam do nich swoich najbliższych przyjaciół, kolegów. Naprawdę zimno, musimy palić w piecu, było nam cieplej. Jest to taka surowa, hardkorowa siłownia dla mężczyzn. Obecnie jestem najmłodszym zawodnikiem wśród grona na Arnold Classic. Hafthor ma 30 lat, Brian Shaw ma 36 lat, więc myślę, że moje doświadczenie wzrośnie wraz z biegiem lat. W 2018 roku zająłem 4. miejsce na zawodach Arnold Classic. Stanąć na pierwszym miejscu tak wielkich, potężnych zawodów jest to niesamowite wrażenie i na pewno duma dla samego siebie, jak i rodziny i całego państwa.
We have definitely saved the most difficult event for last. Lifting this Oudhaugen tombstone is no easy feat, as some of these men quickly found out.
A natural stone is not made to be lifted. The strongest men on the planet have found this to be an almost impossible task. First, you have to be able to read the stone, and then a combination of grip strength, technique, and raw body power are needed to shoulder this stone. But this is a supreme test of strength and power.
Here's the man we've wanted to see get his hands on this stone, Mateusz Kailesh Koski. And last year, he put on a show with the Oudhaugen tombstone. This is his first attempt, and he just rips that off the ground.
He's feeling the pressure of being able to perform on this event because he did such a great thing last year with this stone.
And there is 1 rep for Kailesh Koski.
Over 2 minutes left. You think we're going to see history?
If he breaks his own record of 4 repetitions, he'll walk away with $5,000. 1 good repetition down for Kailesh Koski. Here's his second attempt.
Look at that, how easily he lifts that.
He just comes right off.
Oh,
wow.
My.
And that will be 2, and he barely looks taxed.
He's read this stone, he knows exactly what he's going to do, and then he gets the body position to get it up to the top of the chest, hitches his shoulders and his hips together, and gets under that stone.
Third attempt for Kailesh Koski.
This also requires tremendous upper body strength. A lot of shoulder strength that people don't understand shouldering a stone, because from here you've got to be able to hold it close to the body and then push it up.
And that will be 3 good reps for Mateusz Kailesh Koski. And he still has a minute to go. Remember, he has the record. It was 4, and he did it last year.
Okay, we're going to watch again this next attempt. This will tie his best.
52 seconds left for 2 reps.
He's going to get his hands on it. He's going to push his feet down. Get it to his lap. He's got that right hand in a great position to hold on to the stone.
And Kalisz Koski once again putting on a clinic, 4 good reps.
He's lifted this stone 8 times total. The second place man to ever lift the stone's only done it once. And this is something that he's just got this event down.
Just a few more seconds to go. Kalisz Koski has time for one more attempt and possibly break his own record. This would be his 5th good rep. Kalisz Koski has a new record, 5 reps with the Oldhaugen tombstone. Wow. Incredible.
This young man's been dreaming about this night in front of the big crowd. So he gets his hands on the stone, he pushes his feet down and lets his upper body stay pretty quiet and gets it up to his lap. He doesn't even really put it to his chest, he just puts it right up onto his shoulder.
Unbelievable for Maciej Kalisz Koski, who last year had 4 good repetitions. That was a record. 1 year later, he beats it by a full rep. Martins Licis is up next, and he is really the only man who can keep Hafthor Bjornsson from repeating as champion. But Licis is probably going to have to win this event to do that. That will not be easy, as he has to beat Kalisz Koski's score of 5 reps. So Licis watching his chances sort of fade away here, but he's still going after this thing.
Off the ground pretty quickly, he had a good read on that stone. He had the hand strength to get it up. Exact same technique. Now I remind you that he trains with Oldhaugen, and this is the Oldhaugen stone. He has seen this stone before. He has trained this stone before.
Licis with 1 good rep so far. The mark to beat in this event is 5, and that is a record. So if Licis is able to shoulder this thing 6 times, $5,000.
More importantly, he'll gain points in the competition. I think that's what he's really after.
And that is 2 for Martins Licis. And now the stone is off the stage. I think that's the first time this has ever happened. And they have stopped the clock while the crew finds a way to get that stone back to the stage. Martins Licis taking a second to play to the crowd. As now basically everybody in a blue Rogue shirt, all the members of the crew are going to come out here and try to haul this thing back up to the stage. They have a net with which to do it. You see it there. And now the stone is back to where Licis can get started again.
They're doing it quickly because they've stopped the clock. Jan Todd on the stage, Dr. Jan Todd, to say, okay, we've stopped the clock, but they want to do it quickly so that he doesn't get too much rest and it affects the event itself.
Licis' grip now starting to slip. He has 2 good reps. Remember, the mark to beat is 5. That was done earlier by Maciej Kalisz Koski, and that's a record. Martins Licis looking like he's using a ton of energy just to get that to his lap.
Give him some energy, folks. Let him in.
Oh, just couldn't get it up to his shoulder.
So we just got word. There is more.
But a fantastic effort.
And that's going to be it. So Martins Licis with 2 reps. We are down to the last man in the 5th and final event of the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic, the Mountain, Hafthor Bjornsson. 1 rep on the Oldhaugen tombstone, and he will lock up his 2nd straight Arnold Strongman Classic championship, and he has simply dominated this competition.
He's only had 1 finish less than 1st place, and that 2nd place finish was only by 6 inches.
And Bjornsson also broke his own record in the elephant bar deadlift. That was the first event when he pulled 1,045 pounds, now lining up for his first attempt on that 410-pound stone.
Hafthor actually weighs more than this stone, but at his great height, it's that much more difficult to get it up to his shoulder. So just to reiterate, he's an Icelander, lots of stones there. He's got a tattoo on his calf of Jan Paul Sigmarsson with a stone on his shoulder. This is for pride. He's left-handed, he's going to go to his left shoulder.
Bjornsson has it to his chest. He just has to get it to his shoulder and show control. And Hafthor Bjornsson will get the rep, and that will do it. He is your 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic champion. And
most explosive strength athlete on the planet, gets the stone up to his shoulder and completes his 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic Championship. This could be the beginning of an historic run for Hafthor Bjornsson.
Hafthor Bjornsson basically won this competition during the first 3 events when he racked up 2 firsts and a second. He built enough of a cushion that he just needed 1 rep to clinch the title here in the 5th and final event. Here are your final standings. Hafthor Bjornsson scores 45 of a possible 50 points. Martins Licis with his best finish ever as he takes second. Mateusz Kieliszkowski, courtesy of his record-breaking performance in Event 5, takes third. That matches his best performance ever at the Arnold Strongman Classic, as both he and Licis are establishing themselves as the future of this sport. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson wins his 2nd straight Arnold Strongman Classic and one of the most dominant performances we have ever seen. He is clearly a mountain among men. For Dr. Bill Crawford and our entire crew, I'm Sean Woodland. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.